Greetings and good morning, everybody. Welcome to a marvelous Monday. That's right. We are just kicking off the week, and thank goodness you're all here. We've got some generosity early on in the stream. We've got SFXF314 Saber Truth Raptor for 5. Culture Casino Cash saying, la, 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 la. We are 1980s Smurfs. No one can beat us. Coming next summer. I know why you did to the Smurfs last summer. I know what you did, to the Smurfs last summer. Angry Smurf. I have to tell you, Angry Smurf, they smurfing had a smurfing terrible time at the box office this weekend. We'll get to it. Plus, you can check out today's video, full recap of the box office for the weekend. Jonathan Conroy, it's great to see you this morning, along with Critisable, the Rainbow Knight. Good day to see you, the Prismatic Paladin. We've got Joseph A. out there. I saw Juliet along the way. Another SFX F314 Saber Tooth Raptor says, it's too late. Marvel is smurfed. They are. Heard they are recasting Captain America, Iron Man, so on. I doubt there will be much of an audience and fan base by then. Nope, there isn't. And we'll get to that in bonus time today, which will probably be about 25 to 30 minutes. We got Tom F. out there doing everything on both platforms, here and there. Right there. And the lovely Linda is in the house as well. Good to see you, Linda. I hope everything is going swimmingly. Let's see, we have a few other folks like Commander Ed Straker of Shadow out there, Crazy White Boy, who I saw just a few moments ago, and the amazing Tender Warrior 68. Master of Puppets, let me tell you, the Pastor of Muppets is out there as well. Good morning to you both. And we've got, Ruby Hoove gifting a Culture Casino membership. Thank you, dear. I hope your arm is getting better. Kalikio Ketty got that, and hopefully he got my email as well. We got Davina Duckworth joining us this morning, and of course, the amazing Jill Powers, who handles both platforms as well. The amazing D. Bud Martin, who I highlighted during the entry, and TZ Burton is out there as well. Our favorite cat, a Kit Kat. The cat or the Kit Kat is in the house. Great to see you. And we got Izzo's place this morning. What a cultural casino this is. Well, thank you. Ron Bradley says hi. I say back to Ron and his entire family because I always follow the Bradley's Fun who sent a raid. And there is our friend, the Batcap. Good morning. Jan Monroe, hope the day is bright and sunny. We've got cloud sailing out there and so much more, including Carl Sing. Good morning, Carl Sing. I love that. Put a little sing in your step at the beginning of the day. Once again, Tender Warrior, thank you for being here. We've got Tim Hayes in the house, along with Walter Tomaszewski, using my crock pot yesterday. Cooked some chicken and told my cats what it was. They want to know if they can cook some mice for you. No, I'm good. I'm good. No mice, please. Mice stew, and only in an emergency. Hey, Frank's here. What's up, Frank? So many more. We got, look at these amazing beings. I'm so blessed. All right, folks, here we go. Mark Daly. Oh, wait, sorry. 6 minutes starts now. Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, or good night, wherever you are and whatever you're watching. Thanks for checking out the 6 Minute Daily. We have a lot to talk about, not a lot to do other than that. So let's get right to it. And here is today's stories. Not a lot of time. Superman's 57 million second weekend domestic is a big enough number to put Warner Brothers on top of the charts. And I covered this in the earlier video this morning. You need to go back and watch it. There's a lot of details in here. This thing crossed $400 million. And you know what? That's good. $400 million global, except it just barely crossed it. And it's heavily skewed to the domestic earnings, which should tell you something. Either DC is unpopular, Superman is unpopular, or superhero films are becoming unpopular, and I'm voting for superhero films because normally the ratio is much different, and I'm going to be paying very close attention to this particular ratio and the ratio from Final Steps coming out this weekend. We should have a pretty good idea about whether or not there really is superhero fatigue. But there definitely was, late show fatigue across the board, not just at CBS, but Colbert is being given a gracious exit the last year of his contract ending May 10th. We will be free of this complete garbage and the $40 million loss that it makes every single year for the network. And that's the problem with late night television, even for chuckleheads like this John Oliver. I can't imagine HBO is collecting any revenue from, well, anything that this man does, because he's a notorious liar, just like Colbert. And that's the other problem, notorious liars. Ever since the greats exited the building, like Letterman, Leno, and a few others, it's been the also-rans and the has-beens before they even were. And that's been what's filling these seats. And, you know, according to Hollywood Reporter, Colbert's going to have plenty of options. No, he's not. Who wants to hire a 60-some-year-old chucklehead that has zero pull and no young, youthful demographic? Nobody. This guy's going to be writing Substacks and doing a podcast with 11 other super crazy lefties that are going to be, well, out there, you know, saying stupid things that line up with whatever the narrative happens to be for one political party. This has got to stop. Speaking of the ways it's going to stop is by bringing people over from YouTube to Netflix, and whether or not those gambles will pay off. According to the Sidemans, well, they've broken the mainstream, and they're likely going to break out in a big way and do it to the tune of, well, everything that we might be interested in going forward. George Strait's breaking through to a youthful audience. It's weird how old guys are selling out massive stadiums like SoFi, and nobody else is able to do that, including Beyonce, Katy Perry, many others. They have to downside their concert venues because nobody cares. Nobody cares. Speaking of not caring, I don't care what the UK government does. They can't enforce laws on U.S. tech companies as much as they would love to be able to. If, let's say, YouTube were to disappear, I think they'd have an uprising in that country. Regardless, they're saying that if they changed law, broadcaster content is easier to find on YouTube. Regulator urges those changes. Why? We don't want this crap anyway. It's all garbage. Speaking of garbage, so was the CEO for Astronomer. He had to resign after that Coldplay Kiss video went super duper viral. In fact, Chris Martin actually has been joking about that moment. The singer gave a heads up that they too might be featured on the Jumbotron. Well, it's their show, so that's probably the case. But I'm going to tell you, there's a lot of costs to that cuddle, including people being ousted from their positions. You know what story you're not hearing, though, and this is something I'm focused on because of the new channel, Campione Reacts, is that you're not hearing any blowback from the fact that the woman was also cheating, and there wasn't anything out there that got, well, thrown out in public. So I think it should be goose and gander both. A culpability should be exposed out there. But that's just me. Alaska Airlines had another tech outage, I guess, and it grounded all flights, but they've been able to resume this morning, so I guess that's a good thing. Another lie from the AP here that tariffs are going to help the holiday shopping season be, well, less selection for you. I still don't believe that because tariffs still haven't actually affected anybody. You've got Wall Street drifting around its records ahead of, well, some big profits this week on earnings. We've also got Stellantis in the big hole, $2.7 billion loss for the first half of 2025 due to tariffs and some big charges. Well, I would say you could blame a little tariffs on this, not much, and not for very long. Maybe a 3-week period of time that tariffs would have done anything with us. It's more like we ran this company into the ground and we can't sell this garbage anymore because it's too expensive. The Trump administration imposes limits on Mexican flights. This is in response to what Booty Time and Biden did back when they were running things and broke an actual, or allowed for the breakage of an actual trade agreement involving flights, especially to and from Mexico. You've got court ruling that Mississippi can actually start utilizing its verification law for minors. So that's going into effect. And finally, here's our bear chasing a dog. That's right. A resident captures video of a dangerous interaction between a family dog and a wild bear. Not knowing what to do, they videoed it. Okay, well, the family dog was about to be family or bear lunch. The dog did safely navigate that particular situation, and the bear was just more curious than anything else. Black bears don't normally make it to that particular lake. In fact, that particular area, and it, well, speaks to the fact that we do not have proper animal, wildlife management in any of our national parks across the country or at all. They don't even have fire management. And the Los Angeles area, just in a side note, well, they still haven't bothered to rebuild. They're going to put low income housing there. In other words, turning it into what they dreamed, a 15-minute city, instead of giving people the value for their homes that they lost. I think there needs to be a class action lawsuit to address that and the bologna sausage building codes that got created so that if for some reason things burn down, they would be able to do this particular practice. This reeks of something that may have happened over on the islands at some point. I'm not sure. Maybe I don't remember straight, but welcome to bonus time for those of you who have not acknowledged that happening. We got a lot of your support in the chat early this morning. Thank you for that. You are keeping the channel alive since YouTube is destroying the monetary relationship that creators used to have with the opportunities on their channel in favor of, obviously, the large what do we call it? Legacy media offerings that they are continually forcing you to. You're going to have to manage your feeds. I have been managing my feed. The impetus has been moved from what you watch to what you interact with, which means that if you accidentally find yourself in a series of shorts selling you products from the legacy, that's going to be the things that you're going to see. They will no longer take the things that you actually enjoy watching and watch with regular unless you continue to do that and interact with it. So if you haven't hit a thumbs up already, please do so, and do so on every video that you see that your favorite creators are making. Also share the videos out there. That will help. This is becoming a serious issue for your favorite creators. And if they rely on monetization, they're going to have some big problems. I do have some bonus time stuff I wanted to share with you today. I wanted to say thank you again for all your support. I want to say thank you for those of you in the chat live right now, and for those of you who got here nice and early. Let's take a look at the particular window that I wanted to share with you for bonus time. This window is going to be fun for me, not so much for you, probably. Let's take a look at what the focus of the day was. If you saw the thumbnail, you know I was going to be focusing in on Marvel. That's usually the things that, if we have bonus time, that I wait to do. But Kevin Feige is embarrassed as an entity. He has led Marvel down the toilet ever since he was placed fully in control. And that's an unfortunate circumstance, but it's the one we're stuck with. You see, Kevin Feige has been talking about the future of Marvel Studios. And I just realized this has got a really weird scale to it. Let's see if we can clean that up. Da, 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 da. All right. Yes, there we go. All right. So Feige on Marvel Studios' future, yeah, it's going to continue to suck. They're doubling, tripling, quadrupling down at this point. They're focusing on lower budgets, less TV, and more Robert Downey Jr., despite the fact that you're going to see an article in just a moment saying that they're going to get rid of Robert Downey Jr. as Tony Stark to bring in somebody new as Tony Stark. And that's going to suck, and it's going to drive more fans away. He's saying that if you look at Superman, it's clearly not superhero fatigue. Is this guy seeing something different than I am? I mean, seriously, it absolutely is, Kevin, superhero fatigue. People are sick and tired of your brand of superhero. I know I am. We've got, my goodness, lots of people tapping out of your brand of superhero. And if you don't see that, I can't help you. And I don't think any of us can help him. Man, this is being very stubborn. I'm not sure. Oh, there we go. Da, 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 da. All right. I think I fixed it. I did. Cool. Okay. So this whole entire article from Variety is just the beginning of all of this conversation. And yeah, not great. So Kevin Feige was teasing a small group of journalists with the following line, saying, Angela left you in here as a test to see if he would try to break the lock there. I guess this was as part of this interview. He's saying the heart of Marvel Studios offices in the Disney lot in Burbank, they sequestered all these reporters, um, talking about the past, present, and future for the studio uh, that has been led by Robert Downey Jr. since he declared himself to be Iron Man. All of that's absolutely true, but it's changing. He says it's traditionally a 5-year plan. I think it goes until 2032 right now. So it's a 7-year plan to reform, reshape, recreate Marvel. This has been a rolling 7 years then, because all through phases bore and dive, they've been driving all of the customers away who don't seem very excited to return. Though it has been 7 years since he last did this, it's still rare that Feige gives an interview of this length and candor. And, obviously talking about Superman. Fantastic Four will be the 54th entry in the MCU, speaking on the record. Yeah, well, he's going to tell you that it's we're restarting. We're a brand new beginning. It's a bunch of bologna sausage. Phase 6 is the last of the second trilogy that they're aiming for, with one more to come, which will happen after the Doomsday collapse and failure. And then I don't think you're going to get another trilogy, because I don't think Disney can afford to waste this kind of money. Again, when you look at how little these films are earning now, only 3 of the 22 films in the Infinity Saga grossed less than 500 million worldwide. Since then, though, 7 out of the 13 movies failed to reach that milestone. Yeah, and those are all the most recent phases, and they're all complete dog duty. And the only reason that they can even hold up they can hold it up as 7 is because they're counting the Fox film, Deadpool and Wolverine. And no, it wasn't made by Fox. It was certainly made by Marvel, but they went back to the old cookbook with the old characters, and whoa, look, they discovered gold. Well, that's just one of these stories. Let's look at this one. Marvel plans to recast the X-Men and eventually Tony Stark after Avengers Secret Wars. But reboot is a scary word, says Kevin Feige. And, well, it should be, because new things that you've tried have sucked. And I think the audience is tired of them. Let's take a look at what you guys think of these two stories so far. We got more coming. I am not interested in Marvel. The $400 million charity concert didn't go to fire victims. Whoa. Born in Boston out there with a little spice today. Nope, that nothing have to do with the fire victims or accountability. I'm going to go looking for that expose. That's crazy. Good to see you all over on the Green Machine. I saw Estefobos over there and many others. Good to see you all. Thanks for being here. Thanks for contributing. And thanks to Who for gifting a Culture Casino membership. Hopefully some of you were able to clamor and collect that bit of generosity. Thank you, Hoove, for that. Much appreciated. Here it is right here. And congratulations to the lucky recipient. Extreme Meme in the house. Let's see what you guys have to say. Doesn't Kevin look tired? Yes, and like an idiot. I'm going to tell you, I have no hope for an upcoming X-Men. I think that they are going to get their teeth kicked in on Fantastic Four. Uh, I don't. I've been trying to think of a clever name to go with that front bit, but it's really the final steps of Marvel. That's the truth. Yeah, it was made by Fox people and RR. That's true. Ryan Reynolds. Marvel has little to do with, um, Deadpool and Wolverine. I agree with you. They did. They had very little to do with it. Hey, Luke's in the house. Good to see you. Rambam 3000 says OG X-Men cast was so good, even though I maintain Wolverine was miscast. A lot of people have, but he seems to have been a great Wolverine because people love him and they love the movies, and they really loved Logan, and then they really loved Deadpool and Wolverine. So I don't know. I don't know. Hey, Battle Bunny in the house. I can't believe I forgot this rocket ship live. I'm glad you're here. We're going to be talking about this and these stories and this giant run of press that Marvel's getting as they lead into a failure of a film coming up this weekend. Um, they're keep pushing the expectations for it down. It's possible that by the time we get there, they're going to be, saying, "Hey, this will be great if it makes 100 million." Okay. Yeah. Hey, it's great to see you, Andy. Thanks for being here, buddy. The most talented man on the internet. Uh, you look tired. Bam. Well, I'm going to tell you, uh, Feige does look tired, and he is tired, and we're tired of him. So there's a lot of tired going around. I was very trepidatious about Superman Putin's cat. I wasn't necessarily bad mouthing it. I was bad mouthing the marketing, and I was bad mouthing my expectations for sure. I was trepidatious. I gave the reasons why. Not all of the reasons that I was worried were swept aside. And the farther I get away from it, the more I realize that it wasn't a great film. It was a decent film. But if that's what we can expect from DC as the standard, we've got problems. It's because they have problems because the numbers aren't going to be great. You're looking at, and this is a conversation I had in today's video. You're looking at like a $700 million performance on the top end. And the only reason that might break even is because they had $170 million worth of partner contributions that reduced the amount of money that they spent on the project. So yeah, if in that sense I was bad mouthing it, sure, I guess you could say it that way. It's kind of a mischaracterization, but I was expressing my concern and trepidation, which is what I'm supposed to do. To be fair, our friend Lightning Sketch Productions for 5 Culture Casino Cash sends in a super duper chat, which I truly and wonderfully appreciate, saying, "Oops," and it jumped. Given the current circumstances in pop culture, it looks that all I'll ever have is the older content from when I was a kid. But it is, but is it enough? I think you're set for life. I think you can go back and find great content that was created starting in the 50s even. You can go even farther back in history and rediscover some of the things that our parents and grandparents actually appreciated. I will even venture back into the silent era because that's when I went to film school. That's what we had. Um, I can go back there and just re-enjoy all those things I was introduced to and reintroduced to at the time because I had already had an appreciation for silent film, but between Chaplin and Keaton, Buster Keaton, and every other great out there, Orson Welles. I mean, we go through. Um, the history of cinema, the stars and the producers, the writers, the directors. um, Jules Verne being put on screen was a genius thing. I mean, there's so much out there that you can go back and revisit, even from classic literature. Some of the original Disney films that you don't often see, if you can get a hold of them or you get a hold of a print or whatever, those are worth revisiting as well. So I think we have a solid, you know, 100 years of content. I mean, I rewatched the original Wizard of Oz, which I have on Blu-ray. I love that. Hey, Mr. Tickle Trunk's in the house. Great to see you, buddy. Hope everything's going okay. I will say this though. I think that the big tip off when it comes to uh, cinema right now is that nobody's going to movies. I mean, Eddington was probably the biggest flop. We'll be talking about that on Midnight's Edge in the morning here in a little while. But Eddington was one of the biggest flops ever. This latest horror film, $13 million opening domestic. That's terrible. It's gonna be rough going forward, folks. I'm telling you right now. Zombie Box Reviews. What's up, Andy? Great to see you, buddy. ZBR in the house. Great follow. Great channel. Great guy. You're going to want to keep following him for some zombie box reviews for sure. And got a super chat here saying he needs to step down and hand over the reins to someone who is hungry to prove themselves. I agree. If you have 54 entries into the, quote unquote Marvel saga, man, television was a disaster. And I think they've realized that. So we're going to get far less of that other than the Deadpool series that's in production. They're not going to make more, neo-Marxist content, do you think? I mean, Ironheart was a fart in the wind and nobody cared. Kevin's an idiot. And it's just being proven in real time now. Hey, John, the Beagle Dad's in the house. Georgia Peach is here. I prefer the classic films. Me too. I mean, I could go back and watch Gone with the Wind all over again, amongst many other classics. There's tons out there, folks. Tons. DJ Ronnie G. What's up, buddy? Good to see you. And maybe Feige needs to go back to film school. Maybe he doesn't have an appreciation for something. And here's the thing: for those of you who don't realize, when I do get to my email, I respond and I do read what you have to say. I have to doubly get back there now because of obviously the other channel, Campione Reacts, where we talk about the inconvenient truth of modern dating, relationships, etc., that is thrown at us from the likes of Tickety Talk and other places, which is full of people who have no business giving advice to people. But anyway, I have to go and check to see if there's any storylines there. So, another place to check. But I got a message this morning via X, Twitter, whatever you want to call it, from somebody who just sent it to me. And it was an interesting set of statements that I agree with wholeheartedly. And I'm not going to say their name because I'm not sure if they would want me to. But they kind of sent me a diatribe about what happened at Lucasfilm and something that they titled the Brunette Supremacy. It's how Lucasfilm actually rewrote the hero's journey. And since 2012, they've kept a very solid record and talked directly to the issue of every single thing that Lucasfilm has put its hands on, they've single-handedly destroyed, which means Kathleen Kennedy, who is the brunette female president of Lucasfilm since 2012, has single-handedly destroyed one entire studio. So there's that. Not bueno. In fact, this is reverse bueno. I need to invent that game. Reverse bueno. Anyway, let's go and take a look at this other story here, talking about the fact that Kevin Feige, again, this is not in a vacuum. Kevin Feige is actively trying to reshape this entire thing that was working just fine until he decided to mess it up. And he is messing it up. And I don't know if there's anybody out there that can convince me otherwise. You see, I think that this is all being done with intention, including the stuff that Kathleen Kennedy has been doing. Can anybody argue with that? I don't think so. And right now I'm trying to find my window, which disappeared. And I don't see it. So you guys are out in space. I can't end the stream. And my window is completely gone, which is 100% wild. I don't know where it went. This is nuts. I can't run my stream. All right, here we go. It came back. Okay. That was crazy. You guys couldn't see anything, but I was like, okay. Anyway, Marvel boss Kevin Feige on his future at the studio Blade update. Do you know why they said that Blade? Well, we'll get to that in a second. But he's basically had to admit, and so did the press. Deadline actually admits that Marvel Studios has had to take its licks this year with the misfires. Now look at that, how they categorize it. The misfires of the Thunderbolts and Captain Anti-America, Brave New Marxist. Yeah, the number one superhero office brand isn't letting up on their failures. Okay, I added the end line there. But Marvel Studios producer and president sit down with the press, as I was describing just a few moments ago, with their 7-year plan of bologna sausage, saying that it's on magnets, it can move around, letting you know that they don't have really a plan. They have ideas. They don't have scripts. I mean, that's the other problem I think we've all noted. They don't have an actively finished script that they're working from for Doomsday, which is the next movie after the one that we're going to see on Friday. Give me strength. Feige's particularly chipper, despite the fact that the brand is, falling even further down the death spiral. But the Fantastic Four will be here soon. So they leaned into it, giving us Fantastic Four Final Steps. It's going to be the studio's biggest opening year to date. And look at this, they are touting 100 million to 110 million. This studio's cooked. Cooked, I tell you. And you know what? Probably for the best and for our sanity, to be fair. And you've got, obviously the 05, 07 Fantastic Four films, which I enjoyed. They have issues, but I enjoyed. Then you had the 2015 reboot, which was just set to tank because of Josh Trank and his drug habits. So wide Fantastic Four? Feige explained that because it's Marvel's first family, it's in the history of our characters, they deserve to be A-listers, and we're A-listers in the comics. Every crossover movie we've made in the Infinity Saga, Civil War, leading to Infinity War and Endgame, really was from their world. He says something more complicated. I'll just say that he's not wrong there. But what he is wrong with is what the audience interest is going to be in this. Nobody cares. Nobody cares. They have no background with the first family in Marvel's version of the Marvel universe, or Disney's version of the Marvel verse, I should say. So, they're bringing in people who are not qualified to be the characters they're bringing in. The only person that might be is the chick. And since this is going to be chick-centric movie from beginning to end on both sides, whether it be hero or villain, or a villain that crosses over to the hero side, like Shalala Ball is basically rumored to do. And the fact that they really did cut out John Malkovich as Red Ghost from the film entirely, despite being shown on the teaser trailer. What does that tell you? Well, this is more garbage after more garbage after more garbage. And the reshoots that they added at the very last minute that they were shooting at the end of December, and supposedly rumored to have done some LA cleanups during the beginning of the year. This thing's dead. That's actually a good thing, to be fair. I want to say a quick thank you to Ruby Who for a $2 super duper chat saying, "Have a wonderful day, everybody." Yes, please do. And Ruby Who, thank you. We're going to make sure everybody's comment has a little red heart on it and some thumbs ups, because you guys deserve it. And I appreciate your support. Lightning Productions gives out another one saying, people should people build a personal cinema in their house to keep the experience alive? I think you're still going to be able to find cinemas. And I think what the cinemas are going to do is what I've been suggesting we do in our homes, and collect more physical media, because I think that's the only way forward. And thank you again, Lightning Sketch Media, for another $5 super duper chat. I gotta say thank you to the amazing, the incomparable Tender Warrior 68 for 5 Culture Casino memberships. Thank you, Tender Warrior, for all your support, not just of me, but from all of my fellow creators. Really, really appreciate that. Deeple says 24-hour stream. Here we go. It almost was. I can't recovered the window. I don't know where it went. And I'm actually, despite Putin's cat's comments here, I'm actually a pretty decent IT fella, even though I stopped doing that 26 years ago. But anyway, I digress. Let's keep moving. In Mother Russia, stream runs you. That's true. Yeah. I picked a fine day to stop sniffing glue. Great line from Airplane. Thank you for that, Barry the Music Man. There was a local showing of Blade here, and it was sold out months in advance. Yeah. Sorry, I had to sneeze. That came up on me quickly. But indeed. Um, what we have here is a failure to communicate. And I can't do that accent, so I don't know why I even bothered. But thank you for that. Tobach, it's just crazy enough to work. Look at all these great lines. You guys are on fire today. Once again, thank you, Ruby Hoof. Thank you to Tender Warrior 68. Thank you to Lightning Sketch Production, Zombie Box Reviews, and all of yous who, well, really are powering today's show. But yeah, if I were anybody at this point, I think I would consider building out a home cinema, even if it's on a laptop. To be fair, you don't need the big screen. If you have pixel density, the bigger the screen, the better it'll be for like a couch experience. But honestly, physical media is the way to go in the future. I don't think anybody would argue with that. Lasher's out there. Good to see you, buddy. And deleting John Malkovich. Yes, Lord Shax. That's exactly what happened, which is wild. Barry the Music Man has 1,500 4K UHD Blu-ray discs now. You know what? Yeah, I do that. Plus, I back up my backups with digital copies of the original so that they can't be changed, which is the bigger fear I have right now for anything that is, an older piece of media. But look, they got access to these X-Men characters over there at Marvel. They're going to make use of them or they're going to abuse them. And that's my expectation, to be fair. They knew that Kang wasn't going to be the leader that they needed to be or the big bad guy. They needed somebody better. They were glad to have secured the Fox characters, and they realized that Kang wasn't going to be Thanos, even before the actor got in trouble. So they started talking about Doctor Doom even before they officially pivoted from Kang. In fact, I had started talking with Robert about this audacious idea before Ant-Man 3 came out. Can I just say this? The entirety of Phase 5 was a waste. It was a waste of time and money. Somebody point out to me the big win there outside of Deadpool and Wolverine or Sony's Spider-Man film. There wasn't any. There wasn't. Nobody cared. I'm part of that group that did not care. And I think that group grew as they kept releasing garbage. But let's get over to this last story I want to focus on. Feige had to actually explain why Blade was delayed. Well, they kept writing a script that made Mahershala Ali the secondary character. Now, he doesn't say that in this article because nobody over there tells the truth. But it's essentially the idea of neo-Marxist and centering women. That is why we ended up with a script that wasn't satisfying the primary actor. And they made a huge mistake here. They announced that this was going to be their Blade actor, and that gave him power. It's one of the other reasons why you maybe hesitate to name your actor, because believe it or not, even the Thomas Crown Affair remake, which is completely race swapped, even that film is having trouble. The lead actress just walked away from it over the weekend, and that's leaving Michael B. Jordan with a giant gaping hole in his leading lady character. And why did that happen? Well, let me tell you. Um, she didn't like the way it was going. And again, this means that things changed along the way and the actor didn't want to do it anymore. There's huge creative differences, is what's being said. It usually means there's something substantial if you have a lead character walking away from a role during production. No bueno. But look, Blade was perfect. We already had Blade. We had Wesley Snipes. We do not need another movie. We do not need Mahershala Ali. And Mahershala Ali wasn't getting the kind of respect and quote unquote representation that he deserved in any of the scripts where they wanted to put his daughter in the centered role. So anyway, he says we didn't want to simply put a leather outfit on Mahershala Ali and have him start killing vampires, which is the only thing you need Blade to do. And that's the problem is Kevin Feige is trying to do something else, not make a Blade movie. So despite numerous false starts, yeah, and they're actually admitting to those false starts now because they can't escape them. We've been reporting on stuff that they don't want to talk about or get into the trade press at all. So this is really kind of showing their hand. I want to say thanks again to Lightning Sketch Productions for another $2 super chat saying, How how can I not lapse into nostalgic depression? I tell you what, watch something good every day. And believe it or not, at least once a year, there's one good movie. Um, at least that seems to be my experience. But or it's a well, good. Good is about the highest grade I'll give anything from recent. But yeah, I think that you could actually watch something good every year. But pepper the rest of your year with all these great things. And I don't think you're going to go into a nostalgia depression. I think one of the things that you do, and with a name like Productions at the end of your name, I would say make something better. Make something better. Do what our friend Robert's doing right now and make something better. Do what, and by the way, there's a review coming up on Robert's film here pretty quick this week. I think towards the end of the week, actually, before I get to final steps for Marvel. Um, anyway, but just go out and get the good things, and they're easier because there are fewer of them. So I think you can find something, or you can make something. That's probably one of the best things that you can do. Every time I'm going to see that name, Productions, I'm going to expect you to be working on something extraordinary. And believe it or not, you have a whole sphere of people that have varying talents that might work with you on it. Maybe you have a story ready to go. Maybe they do. Maybe they know people that can do certain things. Maybe you start in um, AI assisted production. Maybe you start to do what our friend Ian is doing with Rebecca Gold. Rebecca Gold's great web series. We're getting another season coming. Very excited about it. I hope you are too. But that's, I think, a lot of different ways you can stay away from that. Yeah, we've had weird problems with everything today. It's been odd, but it's great to see you all, and thank you. Um, ZBR says me and Matt are going to start a fan petition to get Marvel to recast RDJ with Neil Breen for Doctor Doom. I don't think it's going to work, but more power to you. That'll be great. We got Lady Diva in the house. Great to see you. Thank you for being here. Thank you. You're such a handshake man. I am actually. Yep. Uh, Bimo Beta. That's right. Bimo Beta is Bimo Beta here. I didn't see. I saw Tobak and the beautiful Deeple over there, but look, I was looking for the Weatherman. I did not see the Weatherman. That always worries me when there is no Weatherman. But look, I mean, things are changing across this country, around this nation. California is going to lose In and Out because they're insane. In and Out, the young lady that basically owns In and Out now is moving them to Tennessee. So that should tell you a lot. And it's not just because of the taxes and the fact that they just get raked over the coals. It's just, why would you do business there? They're closing up some of their locations. I think they closed their flagship that they'd had since the beginning. That's dumb. But look, we got one final story I want to cover before we tie this up, and we head over to Midnight's Edge in the morning, um, which you deserve to watch today because we're not only just covering box office, but there's a lot of stuff out there in Hollywood. Marvel's Kevin Feige talks scaling back. So this is the other part of the articles that nobody really focused on. They're cutting back. Well, I thought they were cutting back 2 phases ago. I mean, isn't that what's that? What was it? Iger. Yeah, that guy. That's what he said they were going to do. And did you guys notice that? I didn't. Did you see? Did you see a scaling back of things? No. In fact, I kept feeling like the things that they were pushing forward faster were the female centric stuff, which has not worked ever, not since 2012, or any of the other things that have happened, whether it be Star Wars or Marvel. They kept pushing these ideas forward that were collapsing. So, forced collapse of Marvel came the minute that they got rid of Ike Perlmutter, and that's when they shifted to the all-female centered garbage tacticness. And look, there needs to be there needs to be female superheroes. There were a great many female superheroes. They just don't use them, or they try to create new, or they are like looking to create lightning in a bottle for maybe the second or third time. And I'm going to tell you, every time you try to do it, Marvel, you're going to have it be harder and harder. But look, Feige talked the scaling back, losing Kang, and his text to James Gunn after Superman. I'm sure they were great and very kind. Um, and Miles Morales will not be coming to the MCU anytime soon. Well, first of all, male. And second, it's not as popular as people want you to believe. It just isn't. It doesn't make the animated films don't make that kind of money. It's really just a borrowed character. It's not something good. And I know a lot of people like it, and that's great. If you're one of those, okay. But it's hand me down character, beginning to end. Doesn't work. So anyway, this guy again, he's covered exactly the same way because all of these papers that we've looked at this morning are all owned by the same owner, Penske Media, which means they don't have collective creative bone in their body, and they also are, very limited in perspective and scope of what they're allowed to talk about. So it's been pretty terrible. Marvel's run has been tested of late, according to the way they tell the story in this article, especially with the Thunderdolts. Oops, I forgot I can't do that on Hollywood Reporter, especially with Thunderdolts and Captain Anti-America: Brave New Marxism, which grossed among the lowest totals for the company. Yeah, they were down there in the doldrums like the Marvels, which was also complete garbage. Do you realize how many complete garbage movies that we've been subjected to by Marvel the last few years? And if I didn't do this job, I wouldn't be watching them, to be fair. According to Robert for $2 says, did you look up my film's IMDb for insights? There you go. See, Robert right here. Robert's getting his own review on my channel. And why? Because Robert made a movie. And you can definitely look up his IMDb for insights if you're looking for those. That would be something I would recommend to Lightning Sketch Productions and many others. I want you guys to make stuff. Please realize this. I think that's the only way we get new and better stuff. But anyway, um, uh, it needs to be Marvel needs to be ideologically pure and free of an ideological bent in everything that it does, or it's just going to be more of the same, and it will be continually widely rejected. I can't believe how bald faced they are when it comes to how ideologically driven Fantastic Four is going to be. And the marketing is actually like pumping it up. Yes, yay, stuff you hate. We're making more. Come and see the stuff you hate. No thanks. All right, but Feige isn't interested in your theories of superhero fatigue, which he doesn't buy is real, pointing to Superman, which is doing strong box office, at least domestically. See, that's the other problem. It's not doing strong box office. It's not. I know $100 million sounds like a lot of money, but these days, compared to what it used to be, this is not a lot of money. I mean, if you have films that are budgeted for initial published budget for a film is $200 million, they spent more. You never are, well, you rarely are hearing the actual figure that they spend on the marketing. But when you look at how much these films actually cost, when you look at the write-offs that they take in foreign markets, like in the UK, where they can write off a certain percentage, they have to tell you the stuff. And then when you find that stuff, it looks like a complete disaster. So there's that. Anyway, Feige texted filmmaker James Gunn to let him know how much he liked it. He says, I love how you just jump right into it. Feige enthused of the film with Gunn. Um, And you don't know who Mr. Terrific is? Tough. You'll figure it out. You don't know what this is? Just go. This is a fully fleshed out world. And you know what? That's actually solid commentary, but I still think that Feige is just saving face because nobody who's watching how superhero films are performing right now can say that there's not superhero fatigue. I think it's just trope and, well, in this case, showrunner fatigue. Because technically, Feige, as a producer, is really just a showrunner for whether it be TV or film. They cast directors at this point. They don't bring in people who are legitimately creative that can bail them out of tight places, which is why they went back to the well with the Russo brothers. Because it was really legitimately the last time that they watched two people take somebody else's idea and actually make it better. I don't think they're going to make Doomsday any better, but just my opinion. Anyway, even if he doesn't buy the idea of superhero fatigue, Feige and his team have done plenty of postmortems on this year's underperforming movies and all of their movies since the massive success of Avengers Endgame. That's true. And look, I some of you may be looking forward to the 25th release, which is just 4 days away, of Fantastic Four. I'm kind of dreading it because I've got to go and waste 2 hours because this is just under 2 hour film to tell you what you already know. This is a female centric story, like everything else that Marvel has been doing, and with a, a little prissy Pedro that is nobody's hero. He's nobody's peak masculinity. They're legitimately trying to draw in masculinity. We need to put more masculinity into everything. We need to recover masculinity. And we also need to be okay with the roles that we're supposed to have. But that's for another channel. I will say this. It's good to see you, Hampton. Thanks for being here. My daughter loves the movie. Which one? Oh, I missed it. Darn. Count Alucard. Just cancel Blade already. It's off the calendar. Marshall already doing other projects. He wasn't going to just sit in a hole. I mean, there's that. Anyway, we've got to wrap things up, folks. I really don't want to. I want to say thank you to those of you who contributed to the financial aspects of today's stream. You guys really, truly helped. Tender Warrior, Lightning Sketch Productions, Robert, of course, Ruby Hoove, and many more, including Hoove and SFX314 Sabertooth Raptor out there. Man, this is going to be wild. So we got Midnight's Edge of the Morning coming up next. I want to say a special hello to Jaco Ellers, who's out there. And I want to grab this particular super duper chat from our friend Ram Bam 3000 for £5 sterling. It is proper money. Thank you, my friend. Making sure that it's not superhero fatigue. It's a-holes making preachy bad movie fatigue. Yeah, I agree with you. But I mean, right now, that's everybody that has their little grubby claws on the superhero properties. We actually need to find a superhero nobody owns and just go to work. I think that would be helpful to all of us, to be fair. Anyway, but do check out Midnight's Edge of the Morning coming up next. In fact, there's an automatic redirect there. I want to say thank you to those that came over from Follow the Bradley's Fun, and you probably should too. I want to say hi to ASCII out there and Battle Bunny. We've got so many folks that drop in each and every day. I can't get to you all. I try, but I just want to say thank you. And indeed, Bucky Cat, we need the Rippaverse. We need a massive film based on the Rippaverse. I am excited for that. For those of you on the Green Machine, you are amazing. I appreciate all of you. I am really, really wild that I don't do quite as many rant videos that I used to do. So you may see more of those. I've been a little mad at myself. On that note, I'll say the following. Be sure to take care of yourself, take care of others. And until next time, well, did you know I had a farm?
Oh, the culture had a farm, E-I-E-I-O. And on that farm we had a cock, E-I-E-I-O. here a cock, there a cock, everywhere a cock.